The crisp autumn air was shattered by the shrill cry of a police siren. The sound echoed through the narrow streets, causing heads to turn and conversations to halt. Onlookers watched in stunned silence as two officers approached an elderly man leaning heavily on his walking stick. The scene was surreal, almost like a moment frozen in time.
I don't understand.
Arthur Davies, a fixture in the community for his daily strolls down the high street, was now at the heart of an unsettling spectacle. Known for his friendly demeanor and kind words, Arthur was beloved by many. His frail hand trembled as the officers, their faces grim and resolute, informed him he was being arrested for hate speech and thought crime. The gravity of the situation seemed to weigh heavily on everyone present.
I don't understand.
Arthur's confusion was palpable. His eyes darted around, searching for an explanation that made sense. He stammered, his voice a barely audible whisper against the backdrop of murmuring bystanders. The crowd's whispers grew louder, a mix of shock and disbelief. His pleas of "I don't understand" fell on deaf ears as the officers, citing new legislation, claimed his online activity suggested a propensity for extremist views. The words seemed foreign and harsh, out of place in the familiar setting. Handcuffed and bundled into the back of the police car, Arthur became a symbol of a chilling new reality in the UK. The sight of him being driven away left an indelible mark on the community, a stark reminder of the changing times. Arthur Davies, a veteran of the Falklands War, had always been a man of principle and conviction. His life, however, was far from that of a radical extremist. After serving his country, he returned home to a quiet life, working as a librarian until his retirement. He was known for his love of history books and his gentle demeanor.
I don't understand.
His online activity, which had sparked the arrest, painted a different picture for the authorities. Arthur frequently engaged in online discussions about British history and national identity. His posts, though considered provocative by some, were within the bounds of free speech. However, under new legislation enacted just months prior, his views were deemed to be promoting hatred and intolerance. The arrest of Arthur Davies sent shockwaves through British society. The new laws, enacted in the name of national security and social cohesion, had effectively criminalized certain viewpoints. Critics argued that these laws were vaguely worded and open to interpretation, essentially giving authorities a blank check to silence dissent. The case drew parallels to other recent incidents that had raised concerns about freedom of expression in the UK. The arrest of a street preacher for quoting biblical verses deemed homophobic, and the arrest of a man for buying a book not approved by the government, and the prosecution of a university student for sharing a transphobic limerick on social media, and even a joke, highlighted the growing trend of criminalizing opinions deemed offensive or harmful. The line between free speech and hate speech was becoming increasingly blurred. Amidst the growing unease, a lone voice emerged from within Parliament itself, challenging the status quo and daring to speak out against the rising tide of authoritarianism.
Nigel Brex, an MP known for his strong views, publicly denounced the arrest of Arthur Davies as a gross overreach of power. He argued that such actions were not only unjust, but also set a dangerous precedent for the future.
In a fiery speech in the House of Commons, Brex argued that the new laws were turning the UK into a nation of suspects, where even the elderly are not safe from the heavy hand of the state. He emphasized that these measures were eroding the very freedoms that the country was built upon.
Brex's stance, while sometimes controversial, resonated with a significant portion of the population. Many saw him as a beacon of hope, a rare politician willing to stand up for civil liberties in an increasingly oppressive environment. He pointed to the dangers of thought policing and the chilling effect it could have on public discourse. Brex warned that such policies could stifle free speech and create a culture of fear and suspicion.
He warned that if left unchecked, these laws could be used to suppress any form of criticism of the government or its policies. Brex's words served as a stark reminder of the fragile nature of democracy and the constant vigilance required to protect it. The arrest of Arthur Davies marked a turning point in the ongoing debate about freedom of speech in the UK. His detention was not just an isolated incident, but a symbol of a larger, more troubling trend. It brought into sharp focus the tension between security and liberty, highlighting the delicate balance that must be maintained in a democratic society, and the extent to which the government was willing to go to combat extremism. The measures taken raised eyebrows and questions about the true cost of such actions. The case raised profound questions about the nature of democracy itself. It forced citizens to confront uncomfortable truths about their own society. Could a society truly be considered free if its citizens were afraid to express their opinions openly? The fear of repercussions loomed large. Was the pursuit of security, however noble, justification for sacrificing fundamental freedoms? The debate raged on, with no easy answers in sight. As Arthur Davies awaited his fate, the future of free speech in the UK hung precariously in the balance. The outcome of his case would set a precedent for years to come. His case served as a stark reminder of the fragility of liberty and the ever-present danger of its erosion. It was a wake-up call for all who cherish their freedoms. Don't forget to like and subscribe.